Hi guys, I thought I'd give you a bit of a midnight tip, being 12:30. A number of you have come to me throughout the week with a couple of questions regarding putting in notes into Sibelius. So I thought I'd just address two of those. The first one is how to put in triplets in Sibelius, and I'll also have a look at how to do it in MuseScore. There's a few subtle differences. I'll try and show you those, and also recognizing how to put in music in multiple voices and how to spot multiple voices. Some of you have got piano parts with two voices. It's a similar process to pass strumming. So without further ado, here we go. Let's start off with some basic triplet stuff. Okay, in Sibelius, I'm using Sibelius 7, but the process is exactly the same in Sibelius 6, I believe. You can do it you can insert a triplet in a couple of ways. The easiest one is if you would, let's just say you wanted a triplet quaver, you would select a quaver first, insert your first quaver, press escape to make sure to get out of note entry mode. Select the note, right click, and click Triplet, and it'll bring up a dialog box. And you want 3 tuplets, and you want it as a number. This is just the format of the way it's displayed. It doesn't change the value. So you want 3 at the top, click OK, and you can see that it creates a triplet there. Now some of you have got, pressing N to go back into note entry. We could put in 3 triplet quavers like that. Or some of you have got, let's undo that. Some of you have got a triplet quaver followed by a crotchet instead of a quaver. All you do is just select crotchet down here and go back into note entry mode, which with the letter N, and press your crotchet note, and then you've got your triplet in that way. So that's the first way to do it. The way that I like to do it, which is a little bit quicker, I think, but it requires you learning a shortcut. I love shortcuts. Let's go back to before we put in our triplets. Okay. So we can select our quaver and click, and then press the shortcut Command 3 for a triplet, or Control 3 on a Windows machine. Command 3, oops, it just turns, inserts a triplet. Similarly, if I were to do Command or Control 4, it would insert a quadruplet or a pentuplet, but we only need a triplet. So again, and then you can keep going, entering in your triplet. So let's go through the process again. Click the starting value of your triplet. Press Command 3 or Control 3 on a Windows PC, and you can even then change your value to a crotchet using the number pads there. If you were to put in a crotchet and then press Command or Control 3, it would insert triplet crotchets, which I don't know if any of you have in your arrangements, but it's just a little bit of it's fairly straightforward once you understand the concept. Okay, now if you're using MuseScore, it's a little bit different. MuseScore, you need to select the full value of the triplet first to then turn that into triplets by subdividing. For example, if you were to put in a crotchet, let's just go up and select a crotchet and put in the crotchet there. If I was to press Command 3 or Control 3 on a Windows PC, see how it turns it into that crotchet into 3 semi-quaver triplets. rather than starting with the crotchet there and then pressing Command 3 or Control 3 on a Windows PC to turn that into triplet crotchets. It turns it into a subdividing crotchet, subdividing it into triplets. I hope I'm making myself clear. If not, please come and ask me if I'm not making sense. So that's triplets in the two programs. Okay, now I hope that helps you. Voices in your piano music. If I go to this piece of music I found earlier, it's a Bagatelle by Beethoven. Now if we look in the treble clef, you can see that everything's more or less in one voice. But if we look at the left hand, we can see that rhythmically, we're in 6/8 here, rhythmically the top voice of the bass clef is subdivided into the standard two groups of three, but the lower part, see how the stem's going down, it's a dotted minim. Now a dotted minim is worth 3 crotchet beats or 6 quaver beats, so we've essentially got 2 times the amount of note values here. And what that means is they're actually happening concurrently. It's just like playing a chord. So voice 1 is with the stems going up, so you've got the E flat major arpeggio here and an F minor 7 arpeggio there. So with the E flat on the bass being held. Now if your piano music has this with stems changing direction, and you can see that there is clearly 2 lots of full bars with one stem direction up and one stem direction down, you have 2 voices in your staff and you need to use the voices selector in Sibelius. So let's go over to Sibelius and just revise ourselves how that works. So by default, Sibelius is entering into voice 1. That's the blue voice down the bottom here. If you click on press N to enter note entry, and let's just put in a couple of notes. That'll do. So we've entered in a nice little phrase here. So if I wanted to have, like, let's just say a low G pedaling the whole way through that, I need to put that on a different voice. So I press escape twice to make sure I haven't selected anything, and then I select my note value that I want, and before I click into the score, I make sure I change my voice down here by the number 2, and you'll see that the arrow goes green. And if I were to put in that note, see how the top stems flipped, or voice 1 flipped the stems up. That means we now have 2 voices in this stave. Okay, it's just a way of making things much easier to read. The way that you would have to do this without using 2 voices, let me do this in the second stave next, just to show you what it would look like to get the same sort of sound. Okay, so in order to do that, I need to have this note there, there. But then I would have to tie all of these to get it to sound the same. Like that. And I mean, I don't know about you, but to me, this looks far more elegant and makes a lot more sense. But let's just test the theory to make sure that they actually do sound the same. Yeah, so it's the same effect, but this is much more elegant than this. So that's why we use two voices. I should show you how to do that in MuseScore. So let's go over MuseScore, press N to enter note entry. I will select my quavers here. We'll do the same example. So we've got our little phrase, do, re, mi, fa, so, mi. So what we need to do is select nothing, make sure nothing's selected. Press the letter N to enter note entry mode. Go up here and select the voice number 2 and select our value that we want, and it'll write it in. Okay, it's a bit different from Sibelius, but very similar at the same time. This is much more elegant to read than having to do it the other way with ties and lots of black on the page, which clutters up the notation. Okay, so that's basically what I wanted to show you. I hope that helps a number of you to overcome your grievances with Sibelius, and please don't throw your fist, cat or other item through the screen of your or any other computer trying to figure out. Please come and see me if you have any questions, and I'll do my best to answer them as quickly as I can. Alright, at 20 to 1 in the morning, it's me signing out. See ya.